Hedera Hbar, it's now been said that it's time to put our foot on the gas in 2024. We are going to see more real world use cases. And would you also believe me if I said that Hedera is currently winning the race for asset tokenization compared to Ethereum? And I'm also going to be talking about Australia and how their bank is preparing for CBDCs and how we could potentially see Hedera on it. All I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. So before we have a look at Hbar's price, currently Bitcoin is trading at 43.6k and it is up by 3.34% on the 7-day chart. If we have a look at where Hbar is, we are sitting at 31st place. So if we have a look at the price action before we get in the first bit of news, we are sitting at that 9 cent level. We are up by 1.26% on the 1-day chart. For the volume, we are down by 48.12% and we are trading at $70.1 million. Guys, we are looking for that 10-cent target. Now today is the 23rd, so in the earlier hours of the morning we were trading at 0.9091. The lowest that we actually went to for the day as of now is 0.08727 and the volume was a little higher at roughly around about an extra 26 million. So let's have a look at how we've done in the past 7 days. We are up by 9.11% and the lowest that we went to was 0.07307. Now I believe that we need to really look to see if we can comfortably stay at this 9-cent level in order to be able to reach 10 cents. If you have a look at the yearly target, you can see that we are pretty much almost mirroring what happened back in February, and this is when we hit that 0.09156 level, and you can see over here how much upside we have been able to create since October, and we have basically been on a straight line, to be honest with you, except from this little pullback that we had all the way to 6 cents before we then started to gain more momentum. So you can see we are mirroring this, and I definitely want to see the mid-range for the 9 cents for Hedera. Now let's have a look at this video, and it's going to share with you some news on how we're getting ready and just getting started for 2024 and what is to come.
Those things, and then we had to really focus a lot on the ons and off ramps that we really didn't have. Remember, until this last year, we didn't have the support of Coinbase. So there was a lot still left to build out that I would consider to be, blocking and tackling. Then we've done that, and now it's time to truly put our foot on the gas. And you're going to see that some interesting use cases coming in 2024 that we are incredibly excited about.
With the use cases, we know that Hedera have had many with their network hash graph. So we've had Galaxy, which is to do with the creator economy, and we've also recently had the aerospace industry and how Hedera will be able to provide certificates for the carbon emissions that they produce. We're also going to take a look at this video where it talks about major banks like the Reserve Bank of Australia requires an institutional grade network from the perspective of both tech and governance, and that's why Not Centralized piloted its CBDC solution for Australia's central bank on Hedera.
The ability to do this and to program the money, to program this collateral with tokenization and in the stablecoin form that it is, that's the big unlock that we see is really interesting. And then you add that layer of CBDC underneath with proof of reserves from a central bank issued digital currency. It's quite a powerful solution.
And for the Reserve Bank of Australia, they are already in the pilot program. And in terms of a potential digital Australian dollar, it is still some years away, but they are still working on it. And in terms of the pilot program, it says that the key findings from the project will help to shape the next phase of the Reserve Bank Australia's research program into the future of money in Australia. So we are talking about tourism, we are talking about big money contracts, and the way that Australia trades as well when it comes to the central banks. Again, with cross-border payments being another primary factor, it goes to show that they are exploring this quite well. Many other countries are too, but Australia could potentially be using Hedera because when it comes to CBDCs, Hedera are known for their low fees. They don't have high fees compared to other networks. You have fast settlements. Now, when it comes to other networks, the settlement times may be longer, which isn't really good because you need the transfer of money. And also we have that extra added bonus of the carbon negative operations. We know that Hedera is carbon net negative, and when it comes to these emissions markets, we have a growing concern when it comes to COP28 and the climate change. When it comes to even cryptocurrency in general, they realize that other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, for example, take so much more energy and it's just not needed. So Hedera are in a really good place when it comes to being used for CBDCs. So Hedera versus Ethereum, which blockchain is winning the race case for asset tokenization. This is key, guys. Let's look at these factors and compare the Hedera hash graph to Ethereum. Throughput and speed. So Hedera hash graph has high throughput, processes thousands of transactions per second, whereas Ethereum varies. It's limited by network congestion at times, leading to slower transactions. So the transactions per second on Hedera hash graph is usually around about 10,000. I think recently we did around about 11.2k transactions per second, and that was a pretty good record for Hashgraph. And you want to be able to get the best output when it comes to transactions per second, and if Ethereum can't really guarantee that, and it varies, if one time it's lower than the other, then it's not really as consistent. The security and finality, so that is your settlement time. We have fast transaction finality, secure and fair timestamps, whereas in Ethereum it's secure but slower finality due to confirmation times in the POW systems. So settlement time being really important because you want to make sure that the money hits fast and securely. Ethereum is also secure, but we have that slower settlement time, so that could be anywhere ranging from hours to days. And fees and transaction costs, predictable and low transaction fees, extremely low for Hedera Hashgraph. I think it's something roughly around about 0.00002, whereas Ethereum is much higher. You have variable fees, and of course it's often high during network congestion and gas price fluctuations. Now, which bank or business wants to rely on variable fees? You want fixed fees, but not only that, you want them to be extremely low as well in order to make it even profitable for you. Regulatory compliance, we have compliance orientated features and Hedera governance council structure, which they are only adding to it. Compared to Ethereum, you have decentralized governance, potential compliance features. You have the smart contract capabilities, which offers smart contract capabilities for Hedera, and Ethereum offers extensive support for smart contracts, so pretty much online there. And then you have the ecosystem and industry adoption, evolving ecosystem with growing adoption. Ethereum is established ecosystem with widespread adoption and extensive decentralized applications. One of the factors where Ethereum is currently beating Hedera Hashgraph, because again we are only still much smaller compared with Ethereum and even the likes of Solana and Avalanche as well, but especially with Ethereum. And then the environmental impact, we have more energy efficient compared to traditional POW chains, and Ethereum is currently high energy consumption, transitioning to more eco-friendly POS. So which network would you rather go with? A Hashgraph that is currently already energy efficient, or Ethereum who is transitioning to more eco-friendly? I would personally go with Hashgraph because it is already energy efficient, and that is how they have developed the network, and they are focused on targeting the carbon emissions as well. And so that is why Hedera Hashgraph is a much better use case compared with Ethereum, and how they are currently winning against Ethereum as well. Now, we did actually get a tweet from the president, Charles Adkins, and he says over here, help us build the future. In Hedera, we are seeking a global policy intern for spring 2024. So this is a job role that you can see, and they're going to be exposed to all of these areas within that internship. And I think, to be honest with you, when it comes to an internship, you're usually exposed to roughly around about 3 to 4 areas in 1 year. However, you can see over here that there's going to be a lot of experience that the intern will gain, and so it is a good opportunity for them to take on. But not only this, it goes to show that they are building upon the team, providing opportunities, and that there will be so much more to come for 2024. Some metrics that I have for you is that the Hedera mainnet has now achieved 35.1 billion transactions. I think a couple of days ago it was sitting at around about 34 billion, and we roughly have around about 7 or 8 days now until we close off December and we reach January, and so we could potentially reach anywhere from 35.5 billion to roughly 36 billion. It will be interesting to see how fast we can move forward, but again, we are only making more records. Guys, if you want daily Hedera Hbar coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.